Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Pooh Harding. And tonight, we have a very special guest. This basketball head is a Long Island basketball and Hempstead High School legend, where he played for the legendary coach, Ted Adams. So you already know this is going to be a legendary evening. This basketball head is the only player to ever start on 4 Long Island championship teams. He was also twice the MVP of the state public school tournament and put his name at the top of the Tigers' career scoring list with 1,701 points. After leaving Hempstead, he attended Rhode Island University. Like a few of our past guests, Carlton Silk Owens, Mergin Sina, and his teammate Abdul Fox. At Rhode Island, he continued his steady play before turning pro and playing in countries like Hondurus, Puerto Rico, Ireland, England, New Zealand, and Portugal. Now he serves as the assistant coach at East Providence High School in Rhode Island. Help me welcome to the show, Long Island and Hempstead High School legend, Ivey-Jones.
Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped out into the world of chaos. Where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
What's going on, my brother?
I'm good. How you?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Can't complain. Highly favored.
Good.
You know how that go.
Hey,
First
good
of
to be
all,
black.
I'd like to thank you for taking your time out to joining us in Basketball Heads Live. Appreciate you, brother.
Most definitely. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you and everybody else
No
out there
doubt.
listening.
Yeah, your guys is telling me I had to get at you, man. So definitely, man. Shout out to your guys, Carlton Silk Owens and Abdul Fox for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. Fox, that's my man right there. Thick as
Yeah.
Steve, guy right there.
Yeah. Also had Mergin Sina on as well.
Yeah, Merg.
Yeah, had Merge on. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So what I like to ask all my guests, man, is who introduced you to the game?
Really, it was my dad, man. It was like, he gave me a ball when I was 5, and I've been bouncing it ever since.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to salute to Dad too, man, because we like to salute to all those people who kind of put this ball in our hand and give us the direction that kind of help us shape our future, man.
Yeah.
So definitely salute to Dad. So where exactly in Hempstead are you from, my brother?
I grew up on the hills. I lived on Mason Street, right across the street from Hempstead High School. So yeah.
Oh.
I had a very
No
short
excuses not
walk.
to be there.
I had a very short walk.
Hey, listen, and when you that close, man, just something about that vibration that you probably picked up and it got into your bloodstream, man, because you went there and you made that your house, brother.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I owe a lot to the people at Hempstead, because originally I'm from Brooklyn, Bedford-Stuyvesant, and when my parents passed away,
So I heard.
So my parents split up. My mom took me to the suburbs, and Hempstead was our landing spot. I owe a lot to Don Ryan and the Salvation Army, and then Coach Ted Adams, who just groomed me for that, along with Eric Kelly and everybody else, all the former greats. out at Hempstead, who gave me a chance,
Wow.
beat me up in practice and just got me ready, man. Just got me
Yeah.
ready, yo. I owe a lot to the people at Hempstead.
Salute to Hempstead, man, and all the people there, man. The first time Hempstead High School kind of got on my radar was in 1986 state championships up at Glen Falls. You guys
Mm-hmm.
was up there representing Long Island,
Mm-hmm.
and Ron Moore for the Nets, Rob Moore for the Nets. I mean, for
Mm-hmm.
the Jet, right?
Mm-hmm.
He played basketball and football. He was on
Yes.
the basketball team.
Yep.
So that kind of let me know that y'all was already serious back then.
Yeah,
For
Rob
sure.
was a beast back then, yo. So
Yeah.
I'm glad he did well, and I got to see him with the Titans. He's the receiver coach for the Titans. So yeah, salute to Rob.
Definitely, man. We gotta get them on here because we gotta represent our guys that play basketball in New York City, man. Because you never know with times like this, man. I don't
Yeah.
want to speak on that, man. We'll keep it
Yeah.
going, right?
Yeah.
So, did you pick up the game early? Was you a quick learner, or did it take you some time to kind of develop into who you became?
No, I think I picked it up pretty early. Like I said, once I started dribbling the ball, that's really all I wanted to do. My dad, put me in a few clinics. I went to a couple of camps, and then it just took off, man. It was, I played football a little bit, but I knew basketball was my calling.
Yeah. I played football as well. So, like a lot of us played different sports, and then saw basketball was the ticket, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, when you was coming up, who was the best player in your neighborhood?
Oof. There was quite a few of them, man. Oh, growing up in Best Eyes.
What age? What age did you leave? What age did you leave? Long Island. I mean, Best Eye. What age?
Best Eye. Yeah, I was 10.
Okay.
I was 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 10.
So you had a kind of idea who were the people in your neighborhood at the time?
Yeah. I mean, Dickie Lloyd, Brian Cunningham. Yeah, I mean, I played in the preteen classic at 305 Park. So
Yeah, I
all them
posted that
guys.
the other day. My guy
Yeah.
Pat Burke sent me that picture, man, with his team up there, man. Those
Yeah.
are the days.
Yeah. So, I played with N.A. Rock, Nostrand Avenue. So, I was over there all the time, man. All the time I was over there. So shout out to my people over there on Nostrand Avenue.
Salute. So with those people giving you confidence, right?
Yeah.
Then you get shuttled off to Long Island.
Yeah.
Are you figuring out your way then? Did you jump right into basketball then, or you was kind of figuring it out once you moved to Long Island, or you jumped right into it?
Well, what ended up happening was, at first, I would commute back and forth. I would go stay with my grandmother, at Farragut Projects on the weekends.
Okay.
Hop on the bus or the train and head over to Nostrand Avenue, 305 Park, wherever, hang out with my peoples over there. But then, actually at the time, probably when school started, my next door neighbor lived across the street. His name is Antoine Moore. Actually, that's Rob Moore's younger cousin.
Okay.
He was telling me about the Salvation Army. And, Salvation Army was a travel team, and Don Ryan was the coach. And he was like, yo, you should try out. And I was like, I don't know anything about it. So 2 days later, he got the information for me, and I went to the tryouts, and I walked in the gym, and everybody was like, who's this kid? And I tried out, and it took off from there.
Wow, that's crazy. So did you start developing any heroes when you got to Long Island, or you was holding on to those guys in Brooklyn like Dickie Lloyd and other guys that you came up under?
Soon as I got to Long Island and I, started playing against, Warren Stiff and Antoine and all those guys, I was like, oh, these guys out here could play too. So yeah, the transition gradually took its toll, and going every weekend, went to, every other weekend to once a month, to whenever my mom said, all right, we gotta go to the city to go see your grandmother. So that's how that went.
Got you. So Long Island became your home.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell everybody I bleed tiger blue. Hempstead Tigers for life. They know what that
For
is.
sure. For sure. For sure. So what was Hempstead like you for back then, man? Like you coming up, you know, coming from the city and moving to the suburb. How was that transition for you?
It was different at first because, obviously in the city, it's quick pace, fast pace, trains, buses, cabs all over the place. At Long Island, it's a little bit more laid back like that. You know what I'm saying? There's no subways or anything. It's the Long Island Railroad. The buses run on schedules. They don't come every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes. If you miss your bus, then you got to wait another hour for the next bus.
Fact.
So it was that, if you want a cab, you got to call a cab company. You can't just stand in the corner and flag a cab down, back in those days. So
Right. Now you got Uber and Lyft, right?
Right. It was different. Yeah, it was definitely different. Yeah.
Okay. So who were some of the guys that you started to come up with and hook up with once you got out to Hempstead?
My guy Lamont Hugh, him and his twin brother, Lenny and Lamont Hugh, Damian Brown, Vince Farmer, we all played together. We all just about in the same class. Whether they you're behind me. JoJo Watts, Desmond Conley, all those guys. We basically just all played together, lived in the same area, hung out at Campbell Park. And that was my crew. That's who I hung out with.
What was Campbell's spot the place to be where all the ballers met up at and played?
It was either there or Lincoln Park.
Yeah, I heard about Lincoln Park as well.
It was there, Lincoln Park.
Was there any tournaments? Any tournaments ran out of those parks?
Lincoln ran some tournaments, but Coach Adams, we used to go to other towns and play in summer leagues and stuff like that. And sometimes we would just get on a bus or something or ride our bikes to different towns and go to different parks. And just 5 of us just go over there and run and take over the park.
How important was Coach Adams in the community during that time? I heard his reputation is huge.
Very important, very important. He was a teacher at one of the elementary schools. Him and his wife. Very important, man. He worked at the Salvation Army. He ran the after school programs at the Salvation Army. He ran the summer camps. And one of the toughest areas where the Salvation Army was, the street that it was on was one of the toughest, hardest areas in Hempstead, Terrace Avenue. So,
definitely. I had some kids that live over there. So a lot of my kids, I teach in Valley Stream. A lot of my kids come from that area. Yes.
Yeah. So back then, your parents was like, especially my mom, she was like, I don't want you over there. But I was like, Mom, I got to go over there. Like, don't worry. I know a lot of people over there, Not to say that they wasn't going to bother me, but I didn't go over there to cause trouble. And some of my teammates lived over there. So
there you go. And look, you know how it go. If you cool and you about this life, this to get you a pass if you're a cool dude, right? Yeah. If you try to play both sides, that's when you get in trouble. But for the most part, this gave us a pass to travel in and out of neighborhoods.
Right.
Right here.
Exactly. That's facts.
Yeah. Definitely. So you make varsity 9th grade year?
Yeah, I started as a freshman. Let
me tell you something. I'm going to tell you. I made the team as a freshman, but I rode the bench. Yep. The great Kenny Anderson played as a freshman, but didn't start in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Man. Talk to me, brother. What was that like, man?
And to be honest with you, I was surprised. I was actually surprised that my name was on the list. When I checked the list, because like I said, even though I played JV the year before in 8th grade, we still had talent on varsity. But me, I was like, well, I played last year. The worst thing that could happen, he'd be like, I don't have a spot for you. I go back to JV as a freshman. Then, this was cool. I just wanted to try out. But then when I saw my name on the roster, I was like, oh, okay. And then once we start practicing, And then he was like, oh, he was like, Kyle, put on your blue. You're running with the first group. I was like, I'm running with the first group. I was like, okay. And then, obviously, I took some time from upperclassmen, juniors, and seniors, but
Right.
they didn't give me no slack. You know what I'm saying? They still fucking beat me up in practice. They still went at me. And I was like, okay, look, if this is how it is, this is how it is. First of all and foremost, growing up in Brooklyn, Bedford-Stuyvesant, in the jungle, you got to be able to survive anyway. So I just took it as, look, okay, you may be older, but I'm still coming at you. And, they was like, okay, yo, this kid, he's serious. He's not backing down from us. So I gained their respect early.
Wow, that's crazy. My guy Lorenzo Harrington said Cal was like the GOAT at Hempstead High School. Look, I don't think people really understand when you're in that seat. When you're in that seat, right? When heavy is head that wears the crown.
Yeah.
When that shit happens as a freshman,
you
got to learn how to balance it.
Yeah.
And then it happens again. And it happens again. It's like having a fucking hit record and then doing it again and again and again. It's not easy to do.
Yeah, but
it's not easy to do.
No, it's not. But my coach, Ted Adams, he kept me level-headed, man. He didn't, let, the cameras and the interviews get to my head and all that type of stuff. He kept me level-headed. He was like, look, man, all this means nothing, if you're not doing your thing in the classrooms and all that type of stuff. This just comes with it. And, he was there. If a reporter asked to interview me, he was right there next to me, making sure that the reporter wouldn't try to put me in a scenario that I shouldn't be in or whatever the case may be. But he was right there. He kept me level-headed. And like I said, them guys, they just, it was just work. Practice was fun. You know what I'm saying? We worked, but it was fun. So when we got to the game, it was just that much easier. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, my guy Rick Combs played at Uniondale High. He told me that Ted Adams is similar to what Ray Haskins is to Brooklyn.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
and how he's in the community and how he's always kept his foot, his feet 10 toes down and helped a lot of kids throughout the generations.
Yeah. He's definitely helped a lot of kids, man, regardless whether, elementary, middle school, high school, like Hempstead, if there's one high school in the town. So, we all know each other. There's one middle school in the town. So we all know each other. So it was like, he was firmly dipped in the community, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure that there's some people that didn't like him or whatever. But for me, he's one of the mentors. I don't have anything bad to say about the guy. I love the guy to death.
Man, if the streets wasn't so ravaged with gangs all over the place, just imagine the talent that will still be coming out of these schools. When you like the only high school, what I found out during this show is that Mount Vernon is the only high school in that area. So they get all the ball players, right? When you think about the great DeWitt Clinton High School, it was an all-boys school, and anybody can go there.
Yeah.
This is the reason why they have 18 city championships, right? Boys and girls. They have, they're like number 2 with city championships because there was an all-boys school.
Right.
And I don't think people realize that when you have such a great selection of talent, the game is easier compared to people who kind of, in different kind of schools and don't have that many kids to choose from.
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk about this whole run, right, that you had. This kind of Lance Stevenson run. Because that's the only person I can compare this to. All right? I don't care how you put it, fam. Yep. Lance is the only one in Lincoln history that took us to 4 straight championships back to back to back to back. And you were doing this in a Long Island.
Yep.
And a heavy pace and a heavy clip. How was that freshman year like?
The freshman year playoffs. I think, honestly, for me, that was the coming out party because, we basically, went through the season, we had a couple of games where it was tough, like Uniondale. Uniondale always played us tough, arch rival. We played against Roosevelt, whatever, Freeport. But I think the freshman year, those playoffs was the coming out party because, Freeport had Eric Coates, and big man Burrow was his last name. Can't remember his first name, but, they were a top team. We had to, get by Uniondale. And I could just remember, like, against Freeport, we was losing. But, I'm screaming at everybody, yo, we not going home today. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm not going home. You know what I'm saying? And they looking at me like, what are you talking about? You're not going home. I said, yo, we not losing. We got a certain standard we got to, stand up to. So, it was from that point on, it was like, okay, it's time to play. A freshman is telling us, yo, we not losing. So it's time to play. So, yeah, I think that was the coming out party for me, freshman year playoff.
How much did you have, Cal?
Well, I on the season, I averaged 12 points and 12 balls.
No, I'm talking about that day when you made that proclamation, that day when you made that speech.
How
was that the coming out party? What did you do?
That day it was I don't know, it was just I was just playing, man. I was just doing my part, man, like because regardless whether it was boarding, blocking shots, whatever the case may be, man. I did not want to go home. I didn't want to lose. Like you said, we had Rob Moore and the other guys before us going to the States. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That was the goal to get to Glens Falls. Glens Falls was a big deal. It was a big deal for us to be the only school coming out of Long Island, to get to Glens Falls. That was a big deal for us. So that was our goal every year.
And it's so crazy. Even though guys in the city would rather win, they want to go to Glens Falls, the city championship we hold that a little bit more dear than the state.
Right.
It's kind of crazy.
You're right.
Yeah. So you're getting all this attention moving to your sophomore year. I know you gotta be predicted like, one of the top players in the country, starting at a program so young, at a good program so young, and then doing so well. What did you do during that summertime to get even better for your sophomore year?
Just going to the gym, working out. Like we all played the summer league together. So, we would have one practice a week with Coach Adams, but then he would open up the gym and let us go in there and shoot and stuff like that. Plus, I was still going back to New York at that time, back to Brooklyn at that time. So I was working out with my boys back then too, going to the parks every day and playing and things like that. So, it was just constant playing. I really didn't go to a major camp until that summer, my sophomore year, my sophomore summer year, going into my junior year when I went to Nike All-American camp. So that was like the first major camp that I went to.
At Fairleigh Dickinson, right?
Nah, we were at Princeton.
Oh, it was at Princeton? I forgot. That's where it was at first. That was the AFB, right? That was the AFB joint.
Yeah, we were there. We were at Princeton. So I was there with everybody. I was there with Kenny Anderson, Bobby Hurley.
Yeah, that was the AFB joint.
Yeah. I was the J.R. Ryder. You name them, they were there. I was there with
them. I want to talk about that camp. Coach, 98 Degrees says, Cal, you remember when we were in BK and won 2 versus 5 to win a chip game? That's dope.
That's my man, Nate Reeves. That's 98. What's up, Nate? That's 98. How you doing? So what he's talking about, we were playing in a league in Queens. One of my boys, his father sponsored us to play. We played in this league in Queens. So we go one day, we play a game. We had like 7 guys or whatever, but it got rained out. So we had to come back, the next day of the tournament, whatever, 2 days later. So we had to finish that game and then play our scheduled game on that day.
Uh-huh.
But when we went back the second day, we had the same guys that we went the first day. So they weren't in the book. So the only people that was in the book was me and Nate. So we had to finish that game. We were up by like, when the game stopped, we were up by like 10. But it was only probably like 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. So me and Nate had to finish the game 2-on-5. And if you know Nate is faster than a speedboat. Like this dude can get from inline to inline like no other. So I would just take the ball out and he would just run around and get open between these two guys, and I would just be the trailer. And he would beat everybody up the floor, and the one guy that was back, I would just sprint hard, 2-on-1 every time. And they turn around all confused, looking at us like, yo, how these two dudes beating us? So we ended up winning a game 2-on-5, me and my man 98.
Wow, that's effing crazy. Oh, let's make some noise for that right there. Let's make some noise for that. We're going to make some noise for that right there. Woo! Hey, listen. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. Salute to my guy 98 for sure.
Yeah.
My guy Blaze said Nathan Reeves with the Hempstead. Who's Nathan Reeves?
That's what we just talked about.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So we just talking 98.
Got you. Salute Nathan. That's cool. Guard like that, you would love to play with.
Oh yeah.
Love
to play with him. Man. Pick and rolls. He'd be like, yo, okay, just set the screen. You know what's gonna happen. And every time he would set his guy up. And they would try to jump the screen, and he was so fast. You jump the screen, he was crossing over, and he was getting to the bucket, man. Yo, when I tell you this dude, how fast this dude was with a basketball, man, you would not believe it. You know how fast Mike Vick was on the football field?
Yes.
And the dudes used to say, yo, he's even fast on camera. Yo, that's Nate.
That's crazy.
Nate. Everything. That's Nate.
So you up at Nike or the athlete camp, right?
Yeah.
In Princeton. Yep. All the top players in the country are there.
Yeah.
Kid from Long Island is there.
Yeah.
Wide open. You hearing and seeing all these dudes that you heard about, you finally get to see them.
Mm-hmm. Up close and personal.
Damn. That's the best time right now. Okay? You get to prove what you're about.
Yep.
Okay? Cal, who ass did you bust that everyone was raving about? But when you faced them, it was something different.
Well, me and JR had a nice go at it. Me and JR had a nice go at it.
Mister,
we had a nice go at it.
I don't want to back down on Jordan.
Yeah, me and JR, we had a nice go at it. Yeah.
How was that, man? And was he now we can see it on television. Was he a killer in real life?
Oh, definitely. I think, me personally, that camp is when everybody started to realize, yo, I really can play. You know what I'm saying? Especially because, like, even though at Nike camp you got to go to school in the morning, we up just like a regular school day in different classes, taking classes, but come 1 o'clock after lunch, we on the court. So, it was like seeing everybody that, we read about in the paper or, we heard about on the news, seeing highlights, we all there. Guys are going hard. Yeah, guys are going hard because they're like, yo, I'm the best amongst the best. Like, I can't leave here and not show myself.
So did you and JR, y'all played, when y'all played against each other, did y'all hold each other?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I took it personal. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, yo, he plays my position. We just about the same height. It seems that, we do similar things. Yeah, I wanted to guard him. I wanted to guard him. And, I'll be honest, regardless whether it was JR or anybody else, Lorenzo Orr or anybody else that was there, I wanted to match up with them too because, coming from Long Island, not many people know about players from Long Island. So, you kind of have a chip on our shoulder. We had a chip on our shoulder. Yeah.
That's real, I suppose. So now you come back, you're leaving the camp, come back out to Long Island, new school year.
Mm-hmm.
What happens?
Just explode. Just explode because it was like every game, it was something in the paper about me, just, me. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, people were coming to watch. Hempstead's coming to town. I'll be honest with you, the gyms was packed. Everywhere we went.
Talk that talk, Cal. Let them know. This is that night, baby. That's right. You bought them out. You packed the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously there's a few people watching and they chiming in. They know. Don't hesitate to say something. Y'all know.
Oh no. They definitely show the love for sure. They definitely show the love. So that sophomore year, how much did your scoring increase? Because you went out with a bang, 1,701 points. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as the boys go, I'm still an all-time leading scorer behind one other person, Lisa Smith. Obviously one of the best ever female players to come out of Hempstead. But other than her, I'm right there. I'm number 2 all time.
Wow. So you guys, 98 Degrees said we only lost 1 game in high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on. In 4 years? Not 4 years.
No, in 4 years, I lost 5. In 4 years at Hempstead, I lost 5. So our record, it was basically like 28-1, 30-1 Yeah. We destroyed a lot of people. There's a lot of people.
This is crazy. This is crazy, fam. 5 games? You guys only lost fucking 5 games?
Yeah, I only lost 5 games in my high school career.
In 4 years?
Yeah.
Y'all nuts is dragging on the floor like, excuse me, my nuts is back there, fam. Really? Y'all lost 1 game a year almost on a damn average.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So what schools are starting recruiting you now? Because, your junior year is coming and they can send those letters and start recruiting you.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I got my first college letter, my college of interest letter, from Larry Brown when he was coaching at Kansas. And I was in the 7th grade.
Oh, so you got hold on, because when they send out these letters, right?
Yeah.
Right? It got your name printed here. Yeah. One of those. And remember, he said letter of interest.
Yeah.
Right? So now you gotta be showing those letters and they just be a letter of interest.
Right.
For sure.
At the time, I didn't know who Larry Brown was. You know what I'm saying? I was I showed Mr. A, Coach Adams. He was like, "Oh, okay." He said, "All right," and I was like, "Okay." So if that was his reaction, I was like, "Okay, yeah, all right, it's no big deal. I just keep playing."
That's right.
Then, obviously, the letters kept coming in. So, I mean, to be honest with you, I was recruited. I was being recruited by tons of schools, top-notch schools. I'll be honest with you. I almost went to Cincinnati when Bob Huggins was there. I took a visit in the whole 9 yards.
First of all, let's just say this. Cincinnati fits your style of play.
Yeah.
Okay? Look, let's be real. And I always say this with me first, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know I chose the wrong basketball program for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. Do well, you have all these accolades. and then you choose a school you think is a good fit for you.
Mm-hmm.
School is good, but the program is not.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So speak to a lot of guys who've been down that road. We're good now, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not even want to get out of high school yet because we still got some things to do. Because you won 2 MVPs as well.
Right.
Right? Did this happen your junior and senior year, or did it happen your sophomore year?
No, this was junior, senior year. Yeah, junior, senior year. You know, I mean, I chose Rhode Island, one, because when I went on my visit, you know, it was just comfortable. You know, I got along with a lot of the guys. At that time, Carlos Easterlin was there, another New York kid.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, and we had other New York City kids that were coming up. It just felt comfortable. And plus, Al Skinner, who was my coach, he was also from Long Island. He, you know, grew up in Melville, Malvern. I mean, he went to Malvern High School. So yeah, it just felt comfortable. Yeah, it was close enough for my mom to come and check me out, my family to come and check me out. Yeah, so I chose Rhode Island.
Right. And how was that? Once you got to Rhode Island, you know, you come in there, a legend.
Yeah.
Unlike most, you come there, certified legend, 4-year starter, 1,700 points.
Mm-hmm.
How does that transition when you get to Rhode Island?
It was a culture shock at first, because, you know, obviously Rhode Island, University of Rhode Island, predominantly white school, very low percentage of minority people there. You know, coming from the city, regardless whether I'm coming from Brooklyn or I'm coming from Long Island, you know, the pace is much faster. You know, if you here in Rhode Island, when I first got here, you know, we wanted to go to the store, we had to go to the gas station. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All the stores are at gas stations.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, compared to back home, you just go to the corner. No, you got to get in your car and go to the gas station in order to go to the store. So yeah, that was a culture shock. Yeah. So, but you know, like my freshman year, I sat out. I was a Proposition 48 my freshman year, so I sat out, and then I played 3 years after.
Yeah, definitely was caught up in that situation, man.
Mm-hmm.
So many obstacles, and so many, I would say, roadblocks that they set up and put in the way to kind of stagnate a lot of players that was coming out back then.
Mm-hmm.
But we made it through, man.
Mm-hmm.
And excuse me, that transition, how was the school part for you? You know, you already said you was a good student.
Mm-hmm.
How was the academic portion for you?
It was all right. I mean, it was different because, you know, obviously, you know, you're in college, you're by yourself. So you got to get yourself up and get to class. You know what I'm saying? There's no more get out the bed, you know, or somebody coming in there. I know this happened to some people, throwing cold water on you to get you out of bed.
Yeah.
You know, you got to grow up now. So, I mean, obviously it was a struggle at first, but once I got a hang of it, you know, it was all right. I mean, go to class. I mean, people, you know, classes are out compared to when, you know, you're growing up.
School all day. Right.
Yeah, being in school 6.5 hours, 7 hours.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you either got 2 classes a day or you got 3 classes a day. And, you know, it's either Monday, Wednesday, Friday or Tuesday, Thursday. So, you know, obviously for those, no offense, you know, those of us who went to college, been on college campuses, there's way too much ample, you know, still time. You're gonna find something to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, it's just an adjustment, man.
Rick, I don't know if it's Rick Combs asked, do they still have that BS Prop 48? I don't know. I just think that we started to widen up and said we're going to junior college. A lot of us back then, we were so stuck on going Division I and staying Division I and being at Division I, we would just stay there and go through the process. And a lot of us throughout the country went through that experience, right? Yeah. Where we could have went and played in a junior college, probably got an even better situation.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Even before, I went to URI, Coach Adams he said, well, maybe you should go to the prep school route. And I was like, why would I go prep school? It's just another year of high school. I didn't accomplish everything that I need to accomplish in high school. Yeah, I'm going to college, but it looking back in hindsight, should I have done it? I guess so, but I don't regret what I did.
Listen, hindsight is 2020. I'm just telling you, I went through the same shit. I went to prep school my senior year.
Yeah.
Could have did a prep year.
Yeah.
Was like, I'm gonna stay in high school to get for. And this is why mentors, parents, people who kind of know the game, they kind of can put you on that path, right? They kind of let you know. And even though you had Coach Adams there, still our mindset was just like D1, 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 D1. It was had us hook, line, and sinking, right? We was already sold.
Right.
But just imagine we would just took a different route.
Right.
Just something to go,
Yeah, right.
Right? So how did Rhode Island help you grow as a man?
It helped me a lot, because, I met some very good people, due to the fact that at the time there was so few minorities, the few of us that was there, we stood up for ourselves. We just took over a school building and we demanded more money for minorities to get more minorities into the school. So, today, to say that for today, that there's probably 50 more % minorities at UR right now than it was back then is huge. And to be a part of us taking over a building and getting certain dignitaries and whoever else the case may be, the president of the school and whoever else, to sit down and listen to us. That was huge. So, yeah, a big part of that, man. So, not just basketball wise, but, that was something that happened on campus that helped mold me, to stand up for something. That was extremely important.
Yeah, you got Abdul. Fox said, we took over a building, son.
Yeah, he was there with me.
That's right. That's right. So my guy Silk hit me up. He wanted to make sure, he said, yo, and he hit me up twice. It's like, yo, G, don't forget. Tell my guy I said, what's up?
That's my guy.
He was my sweet mate when I came back to finish up my degree.
That's right.
He said that guy's a great player and even a better person. Yeah. So I want to salute, because that's my OG. He was a senior and the star of our team when I was a freshman.
Okay.
And Silk was like the guard. Like, he was the first dude I saw with the Nike Air Forces, because he just came back from AFI All-American camp. And they had the strap on the bottom. There was the blue Nike stripe with the white sneak. I've never seen it. Y'all can laugh at me if y'all want. Y'all can see all the Nikes y'all want. But back then, it was a new sneaker that just came on the scene. And Silk was the only person with him. And we was like, oh, shit. Now, listen. Don't laugh at me. 1983, I made the Lincoln varsity team with a pair of canvas Chuck Taylors.
There you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
A white T-shirt and a cut-off pair of jeans. Now, I asked my nieces, if you got two guys coming into the park, right? It was three, but it was two. One guy, he got a full Jordan outfit with the headband and wristband, brand new pair of Jordans. The other guy show up looking like me. Cal, which one are you picking? You're a ball player. Which one you picking?
Well, me, if I want somebody that's gonna look good, obviously I'm gonna put the person with the Jordans on. But me knowing myself, I would have been like, nah, I'm picking you. Because this dude coming out here with jeans, he gotta know how to play ball.
This is the killer. This is what I was trying to explain to my nieces, but they so much like girly girls. They was like, "Ooh, we want to pick the cute one. Oh, he looked
Yeah.
nice. He probably got new sneakers on. I don't want the bummy one." I'm like, "But
Yeah.
you gonna? The bummy one is the one that's gonna. He's the killer."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. But let you know that you're an official basketball head for sure.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, yo. I've watched you, different episodes and all that type of stuff, and I'm like, yo, this is a pretty good show, man. So I give you credit, man, because you come on, you ask the questions, and you get people to speak truthfully, man. So I appreciate it, man. I really do.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. So, what was life like after you left school?
Hold
on. Let's back up. Let's back up. Let's rewind. Let's rewind.
All right.
Now, your schedule in the Atlantic 10.
Yep.
One of the toughest in the country.
Yes, indeed.
Okay?
Yep.
How was your time and how did you guys do while you was at Rhode Island?
We were right there. I mean, UMass was our nemesis. With Calipari.
Definitely.
Yeah, when Calipari was there with the refuse to lose logo, saying on their shirts coming in, acting like they all that. They gonna kick our behinds. Like, nah, man, that's not going down here. And then we had to deal with Temple, with John Chaney, matched up against Aaron McKee, Rick Brunson, Eddie Jones, so,
First of all, that's a pro lineup right there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay?
Definitely.
And you got to face them
right
twice a year, sometimes 3 times in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Right?
All 3 of them made it to the pros.
Yes.
Mark Macon. Mark Macon was there too.
Killer.
So,
Killer.
Yeah.
He's a walking bucket. He was coughing up buckets.
Yeah, right. Atlantic 10 was a dogfight, man. It was a dogfight every night in Atlantic 10. You got Rutgers, St. Bonaventure's, Duquesne, George Washington. Mike Jarvis was the coach at the time at George Washington. So, it was a dogfight every night in the A10. And it was a lot of talent. It was a lot of talent in the A10.
And how many do y'all pack it in your arena, in your gym?
Yeah, well, when I played there, we had Keeney Gym. So it was only like 4,500 people. Now they got the Ryan Center. That they built that 2 years after I left, 2-3 years after I left. But we helped pioneer that. Playing. Yeah.
Yo, my guy Abdul Fox said, "What's up about that red light district?" That's up to you if you want to go there, fam. Ab is throwing the questions, so I'm just delivering them.
Yeah. He's bugging right now, man. He's not going.
Shall we move on? Yeah. He said Steve Worth at Rutgers.
Steve Worth,
yeah.
Yeah, he was a problem. Yes, he was definitely a problem.
That's crazy. So, what was life like once you left school, and what was the transition like?
The transition for me at the time was, I'm done with school. What is it that I'm going to do? Because I had my first child going into my senior year at Rhody. So I had my first daughter. So obviously it was either get a job or, see if this basketball thing is really going to pan out now. And then, had a little small tryout with the Knicks, and then I went overseas. So
how was that life for you overseas? And what life lessons did you learn while you was over there in them different countries?
Yeah, definitely learn. Well, obviously, depending on the country, you learn somewhat of it. Some of the different languages, how people live You know, like Honduras was my first country. Honduras is a third world country.
Bring the phone down some. Bring the phone down some. So there you go.
So yeah, Honduras was my first country, and it's a third world country. So you know, you got people living in huts in mountains. I had never seen that before, so that was different. And you know, at night there's no electricity. So for me, my apartment was on the same street as a hospital. So that's the only reason why I had electricity at night. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But there was no street lights, you know, like when I'm in my car, you know, there's people walking, but they got flashlights, you know, flashing their flashlights so that you can tell that that's a person walking over there. So yeah, it was just learning different cultures from different countries, and you know, understanding how people live. You know, obviously sampling different foods. You know, because obviously a brother get hungry. You know,
that's right. You got to put something in that stomach.
You ain't gonna get that over there, so you gotta adapt.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah, I had Kim Hampton on the show, and what she said when she was playing overseas, I think she played like 13 years overseas before she even came back and played in the WNBA. She spoke like 4 or 5, like at least 3 different languages during the interview.
Oh, okay.
I was blown away. I was like, she's like, yeah, you know, I would like to go down there and experience the people and be able to communicate with them. And I thought that was so exceptional. Because us as ball players, we go over there and we just think it's this, and it's like you said, it's the culture, the food, the language, all of those different things that you can kind of pick up on and kind of, you know, add that to your sample size. Of real life experiences. That's real.
Yeah. So it was definitely, you know, it's definitely a learning experience, man. You know, obviously we go over there to play ball, to play a sport that we love, but you still got to make the adjustment. You got to learn, you know, because now you're living in this country, you know, 5, 6, 8 months out of the year. You know what I'm saying? So you got to adapt and learn what goes on over there.
Yeah. Salute. We have Katrina Plummer. She's on the check-in. She's a Babylon High School great. She's a referee now. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Babylon. North
Baller
Babylon.
for real. Long Island baller for real. Born and bred.
What's going on? How you doing? Many battles with North Babylon. I said we had many battles with North Babylon.
Yes, North Babylon. Definitely. Yeah. So, was the transition from playing college ball to pro ball any different?
Overseas, yeah, because I mean they it's spread out. They, you know, they rely on the 3-point shot. You know, it's just like if anybody, you know, watches now on television, you look at overseas basketball. It's the same. It was the same thing back then. But it was basketball.
Hold on. Give me some more space between you and the screen. There you go. Yeah. So a little bit more. So when we put your name up, we got some room to work with. There you go.
All right. Is that better?
Yeah, that's perfect. So you were talking about the transition between college and overseas? 2 guys on the team, 2 Americans at least?
Yeah, 2 Americans, 3 if the third one had been over there for a number of years and was able to get citizenship. Yeah, but you know, I mean, I don't think that is that much difference. It's just the fact that overseas they rely on the 3-point shot more. I think the biggest adjustment was the balls. You know, the balls are different over there because you know,
the different feel, right?
Yeah, it's a different feel. Right, exactly. So I think that was the biggest adjustment, just the feel of the ball. But I mean, the lane was wider. I mean, it's not like that now, but back then the lane was wider. You know, so.
And the lines in the ball are different as well?
Yeah. Like certain balls, the lines are wider. Yeah, it was like all the balls were like 2-tone colors. It was. And
people don't realize when you're a shooter, I know for me, if it was too much space in the background, I really didn't shoot that well. compared if there was more covering in the background, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
I heard some guys overseas saying who were shooters, they had to adjust their shot because of the wider lines. And and when you being a ball player, look, coming from the city, you have balls you play with like this, right? They got the dent in it, you got the bubble in it. So we constantly adjusting.
Right.
It's a constant adjustment.
Right.
But when you get paid to play,
right,
there's no time for error because they send your ass right home.
Well, exactly. With the quickness. With the quickness.
Yes, yes. And there was no guarantees, fam. You have a couple of bad games and your ass get hurt. See ya.
See ya. Yeah, we got somebody else on the line.
When did you stop playing ball competitively?
When did I stop?
Yes.
In between my two daughters, I took a 2-year hiatus. You know, once my second daughter was born, and then when she was like 3 years old, I started up again. And I think the last time that I officially finished was like 02, 03, around in that time. So I played a total of 7 years, 7.5 years.
And which country was the best country to play when you had your most fun time playing and living as a person?
It was two places, definitely England and New Zealand. England because, you know, in London it's just like New York City. It's fast paced, you know, underground music, clubs, the whole 9 yards, buses, trains. So it's just like the city being in London. And then New Zealand was like the suburbs, like Long Island. You know, you got houses with backyards and grass, and you know they're nice and spaced out. And you know you got your white picket fence and all that type stuff. You know, so yeah, both places I enjoyed the most. Those two I enjoyed the most.
Okay, cool. So now we gotta make that transition from playing ball to the real world.
Yep.
And I speak to some of my guys that I've interviewed in the past. Some had good experiences transitioning out of basketball. Some transitioned very well. How was your transition?
My transition was good. You know, my transition was good because once I started playing, it was full blown, you know, daddy mode. You know, taking the kids to school, picking them up, make sure to get their homework done, you know, starting them out, you know, in sports or whatever. You know, my youngest daughter at the time, she liked to do dance. So I was going to, you know, dance recitals and all that type of stuff. And then, you know, as far as jobs, you know, I started out in group homes and now I work, you know, different school districts dealing with behavior students. So, that's what I've been doing for the past 25 years.
That's real, man. That's real. So how did you end up at East Providence? And how was that? How has it been outside of the pandemic? The pandemic.
Yeah. So just real quick, but before East Providence, I was coaching at Woonsocket High School. I was the head coach there. I coached there for 8 years. And then I left there and I started coaching a professional team here in Rhode Island called the Providence Sky Chiefs. I did that for 3 years. And then that folded. And then the opportunity at East Providence came about just because I had been out of the loop of high school ball for a number of years. It was just an opportunity to get back in the loop and to coach kids. So I've been there for the past 2 years, and you know everything's going very good. You know, shout out to East Providence High School and the townies and my players who are watching, and some of the parents because I see them up on here. So shout out to y'all. I appreciate it. But yeah, we so far so good. You know, good transition. We've had some success. Last year we lost in the semifinals of the states. You know, this year we got a good team coming back, so we're looking to make another run. So we'll see how it goes.
Coach 98 said, "Are you still running 32?"
Yes, I am. That's what we ran at Hempstead. You got to go to the bread and butter.
One of your favorite plays, huh?
Yeah, we got to go to the bread and butter, Nate.
That's real. And that's dope too, man. You keep that. You keep that. And you pass it on, man.
Yes, definitely.
Yep. So I know when I was talking to a lot of my guys, there was, everybody looking for you to come back out to Hempstead. And I'm not knocking the people out in East Providence. Salute to you guys. But how was that? Any communication with you? Get back to your alma mater someday? Someday, not now. Someday.
Ooh, man. I love being here in Rhode Island. I do, but I'm a New Yorker, and as they say, you could take a person out of New York, but you can't take New York out of the person. And at some point, I can't say when, but I would love to be able to go back home and reestablish myself in the community and help out in the community. But the timing's got to be right.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Listen, if and when it happens, and it will, it's gonna be the red carpet treatment.
Yeah.
The whole community is gonna be hyped. Kids gonna stop playing, those little games that they're playing out in the streets, and they're gonna put down the gang life, and they're gonna come into the school and play Kyle Ivey-Jones. Gonna be like, yo, he's back. He's back.
I hope so.
Yeah. So I know you haven't been out back home in a few. Have you still been connected to the people and what's going on in Long Island, the basketball scene?
Oh yeah, definitely. I keep in contact with a lot of people, obviously through social media. I talk to, my point guard Lamont Hugh. I talk to him periodically. I talk to my high school coach periodically. So I'm abreast of a lot of things that go on in Hempstead, negative and positive. I actually, Don Ryan, who was my coach in the Salvation Army, he's the mayor of Hempstead now. So,
wow.
Things are going pretty well. Obviously, again, certain people appreciate what he's doing. Certain people don't appreciate what he's doing, but he's the mayor of Hempstead. And, he's just like Coach Adams. He's been engulfed in Hempstead a very long time. So
yeah, I definitely want to get Coach on, man, because I tell people all the time, I always say New York City, but New York as a whole, collective, whether you're upstate, Long Island, Staten Island, they say New York. That's what it is. So we want to keep that family line going on and make sure we keep, getting that history and documenting it.
Right.
So people never forgotten. Because look, Cal, I know I mentioned this earlier, but if you ask a lot of people in New York City who's like the top programs, winning programs with city championships and pro players, a lot of them will say Lincoln. A lot of them say, schools. They may mention boys, and they'll be correct, right?
Yeah.
But do you know who's the number one? Who has the most city championships and the most pros in the NBA? And it's the same number.
The same number? There's a public
The same number of championships and the same number of players in the NBA.
Oof.
What school?
One school?
What school would that be?
I don't know, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Andrew Jackson got to be in there somehow.
No way. Not even.
No.
They're not even in the top 10.
No? Wow.
Or let's say they're not in the top 5. They're not in the top 5. No way. They're not in the top 10. Nope.
Wow. Lorenzo says Springfield.
Hell no. They're not even on the list. No disrespect.
They're not even on the list?
They on there somewhere. They're on there somewhere because they want some city championships.
Okay.
But the school with the most city championships, Jefferson, no. Good job, though. They're on the list. They're on the list for the most pros.
Yeah.
Not for the most championships.
Arthur said Malloy.
Malloy's on that list. But for the most pros, not the most championships.
Christ the King?
No way.
No.
And this is why basketball heads is going to be so important in the future.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure that these schools. Somebody said.
Who's that? Shout for the 15. Yo, shout to you, my man.
Whoa! Hey, listen. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
You gotta love it. You gotta love
It's
it.
a broke school. Yes. And that school is
Talentine?
no way. No way.
Wow.
Even though Talentine went to like 3 out of 4 city championships, my guy John Johnson was there and Ernie Meyer.
All right. Yeah, who is it then?
DeWitt Clinton.
Oh, Dwight Clinton. Okay. All right. All right.
Clinton. Yes. Yes. Arthur, yes. DeWitt Clinton. 18 city championships, and they sent 18 players to the NBA.
Wow. Okay.
Tiny Archibald went to DeWitt Clinton. You know how many years of high school ball he played?
I want to say 2.
1.
1.
Ineligible. Ricky Sobers went there as well. Ricky Sobers didn't even play for Clinton.
Wow.
And he went to the NBA.
Wow. I'm about to say that's a blast from the past right there.
Yeah, I had him on last week.
All right.
Good interview. All right, we're going to get you out of here soon. Top 5 ball players from Long Island in your era.
Top 5 in my era.
Top 5 in your era.
Top 5. I'm being biased. Hempstead, period. Hempstead, period. And can't nobody in Long Island say anything else. Hempstead, period. But no, if I got to pick 5, I would have to say Eric Coates. Played at Freeport. It was always a battle with him. Who else? Charles Mann. From Long Beach. He looked like he was a grown-ass man in high school back then. Charles Mann with the same man, Charles Mann. Who else? I would have to say Al Lyson from Oceanside. Tall, skinny white boy who had game. Who else? Oof. Derek Brower. Matched up against Derek Brower.
Yeah, with the third. Yes. Yeah.
Another one. Yeah, another one, man among boys. Big wide body. He was agile. I would say he was tractor trailer before tractor trailer.
Yes, definitely. Top 5 players in Long Island history.
Mm-hmm.
Not in your era.
Yeah.
In Long Island history. We want to get to history. You know. Now let's go. Those the same 5 that you picking?
Nah. See, it's tough, like, because I got to remember names, yo. Well, obviously, I'm gonna put my man S1 Sean White on the list. You know, was my shooting guard. Was a killer daggers. He was a small guard, but he was another fast guard. A little bully, but dude could shoot the lights out. So I'm gonna have to go with S1 Sean White. Who else?
You look on the screen. They giving you some help, man. They giving you some help, man.
I see Billy Donovan. Okay, yeah, of course. Dr. J's from Hempstead, even though he went to Roosevelt. He's from Hempstead.
Oh, is Dr. J from Hempstead or Roosevelt?
No, he's from Hempstead. He just went to Roosevelt.
Really?
Yeah. He's from Hempstead. Everybody else say he's a Roosevelt guy. Okay.
Right. I thought. Okay. 2 more.
Yeah.
One more.
And honestly, I'm gonna put myself on that list.
Let's make some noise for that right there, for sure.
On that list.
For sure.
I'm still an all-time leading scorer in my high school, so of course I'm gonna put myself on that list.
That's right. Because I don't think any of those guys on that list did what you did.
Yeah. So I see somebody who's that author. Put my man Vita Blue, Reggie Chambers. I see you, Arthur Vita. He was a very good player.
He's all right. So, top 5 basketball programs in Long Island history.
Top 5: Hempstead, numero uno. Out Uniondale, Roosevelt, Freeport, and I'll go with Long Beach because they were tough. Long Beach was tough. There was a lot of guys out of Long Beach. Yeah, and you got to put Amityville on there too.
Yeah,
you got to put Amityville on there. There's some tough players that came out of Amityville. Some very tough players that came out of Amityville.
Somebody said Roosevelt, St. Agnes.
Yeah, St. Agnes. They were.
That was more back in the days, right?
They were Catholic school. Catholic school. I see they put Mount Vernon. Yeah, Mount Vernon was tough, but they didn't have as many players as these other schools, in my opinion.
Who is Rory Glasgow, aka Butter?
Rory Glasgow is a legend. He's a legend out there. Definitely.
Okay.
He's definitely a legend out there. Yes.
Definitely got to get them on, man. We got to get these guys on the show, man.
Yeah.
Now listen, I'm gonna make it a point. I gotta show Long Island some love, and I gotta get out to Staten Island. Once I get out to Staten Island, because I've already been upstate a couple of times already. Definitely gotta get out to Staten Island. What's your thoughts on reclassing back?
Reclassing back. Me personally, only if it's going to really help you. I think there's a lot of kids nowadays that are going to these prep schools and they reclassifying too early, and and then they don't develop.
They reclass it like in the fourth. They reclass it like in the 4th and 5th grade.
They reclass it too early. Okay, I get it. You reclassify whatever, but I mean, it seems to be a trend here in the New England area, and for a lot of kids, I just don't think it pans out. It's just my opinion. I just don't think it pans out.
There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that reclasses is going to help you.
Yeah, exactly, because they still bringing in other players. Just like if you go to college, every year you got new players coming in. So, reclassifying, is that really going to help you? I think people need to really look into it to see if it's really worthwhile. Because it's not really worthwhile for everybody. It's just my humble opinion.
No, it's real. I put up a post a couple of weeks ago that said the kids paying attention too much with the ranking. And they said, I think 2005 was the last time a number 1 ranked player became a NBA All-Star.
Yeah.
You be number 1 in 8th grade. It ain't like back in the days, Pearl Washington, number 1 point guard in the country, Kenny Anderson, Ross Strickland.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not for everybody. Man.
No, it's definitely not. So, with all the things that happened, you kind of satisfied with your basketball career and coaching up to this point?
I am. I mean, I'm one of many people who could say that, basketball has helped my eyes see a lot of things that the normal average person would never be able to see. Basketball helped me get a free education, just like many of us that you've had on and who are watching right now. Who can really complain, regardless whether you're in the NBA or you're playing overseas? You're getting paid to play basketball, something that you love to do. So no, there's nothing I can complain about, man. Basketball has been good to me, and through coaching and everything else that I'm doing, I'm giving back to the game of basketball.
That's right. One of you rappers should do a song and dedicate it to basketball and say basketball's been good to me.
Yeah.
We can play it on an everyday basis.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, any words to any of your players, any of your coaches, anybody that's listening, all the people out there, Hempstead, who's watching right now? Any last words?
Yeah. First off, thank you, to you for giving me the opportunity, to share my story and talk to you and reminisce, my high school days and my best Bedford-Stuyvesant days. I got to give a shout out to my children, because obviously they've been supporting me throughout the years. So shout out to Katrisa, Kiana, Christian, and Takai. I got to give a shout out to all my people, in Hempstead, who's been following me over the years and who's chiming in now and showing me love. Everybody in Brooklyn, Bedford-Stuyvesant, my family back there. And obviously the players that I'm coaching right now, keep working. I tell my players all the time, good coaches love players that are coachable, who listen and who want to work. Good coaches don't like lazy ball players. So, keep working, strive to get better. And, me personally, it's all about the kids, man. It's all about the kids, because obviously us now, we're adults, you know what I'm saying? And there are certain things, that our parents either couldn't provide for us or couldn't teach us because they didn't go through it. And now we going through it. So for me, it's all about the kids. I tell my children all the time, I'm raising you to be better than me, because I want the best for them. And when I'm coaching, I want the best for those kids, because, one day they're going to grow up to be men. And I'm trying to get them to understand that, there's just a certain line you got to walk when it's the real world.
Very true. Very true. David Green said, "Where's my shout out?"
Who's that?
David S.C. Gray.
What up, D?
Well, listen,
what up, D?
As you were saying that, right? And my guy, Jamel Powell, my artist, he not here tonight because he just received his master's over the weekend, so he's celebrating. So we want to give a shout out and make some noise for my guy, Jamel Powell, for receiving his master's. Okay, another ball player here on Basketball Head Live, and he didn't want to make all of you guys look good. So let's make some noise for my guy, Jamel Powell.
Hey, I gotta say this, my man 98. There was a saying in Hempstead when we were there: you got to carry the books as well as the ball.
There you go.
Because without going to class, having the grades, we couldn't play ball. So that was always our saying: carry the books as well as the ball.
For real. And he said he got the picture for you. So what I'm going to do, I know you're going to be here tomorrow. If you tune in tomorrow, because we got Coach Malcolm Connor from Brooklyn Collegiate on tomorrow. And if you tune in tomorrow, say you'll bring your picture and you can view it there. But what I wanted to say is that the message that you put out to your players and coaches and everybody else, especially the players, one day the game gonna be over, right?
Right.
And this is my sponsor's trophy. This is his own trophy that he made. He patented himself. So when we give a trophy to a kid who looks like us, he can see a representation of himself here. And he came up with this idea because he knew one day after he finished playing at St. Bonaventure, that the game was going to be over.
Okay.
And once we start to realize that, we can start transitioning to different lives like you did.
Okay.
Right? And you can show your kids. Huh?
If you want me, who's your guy? You said St. Bonaventure.
Eric Hicks at Game Over. Eric Hicks at Game Over. So if you ever see these trophies around, a lot of people be having them. I give out a lot of them. This is his trophy. He runs the Sty Dome in Brooklyn. Beautiful gym. Runs camps and all of that. tournaments out of there. But that's the slogan, game over, man. So we at that point right now.
Right.
And I want to say again, thank you, brother, for coming on the show. Appreciate you. Appreciate you for helping New York City basketball get to the level it's at right now, man. And we're still climbing because I know we came down a little bit, but we still on the ride. All right? And we're not going nowhere.
We still in Mecca of basketball, man. Don't ever forget that.
That's
Don't
right.
ever forget that. We're in Mecca. Even though people say, oh, yeah, New York City is washed up with ball players. No, we not. We still in Mecca.
That's right.
New York City is always going to be on the map. People always going to be like, yo, New York City. Yeah, we always going to be on the map. So I don't care what nobody says.
Talk that talk. Let them know, Cal.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. Because we got to let the people know. They try moving out to the West Coast. It's here.
Yes.
That's definitely right. So appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Definitely. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Yep. Your picture will be shown. And appreciate the love. And keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Thank you. You do the same, man. Keep it up, man. Salute to you, partner.
And I'll be hollering at you soon. We'll be DMing each other, stay in contact, all right?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
All right, peace.
All right, peace out, people.
All right. Wow. That's legendary right there. Cal Ivey-Jones, Hempstead, Long Island legend, Fisher, 4-year starter, 4 championships. That's legendary. All right? So, bringing my man real quick, see what's up. What's going on, Lorenzo? Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. Got my guy, Malcolm Connor, head coach, Brooklyn Collegiate High School. What's going on, man? Oh, you're on the dark. Can't do that. So, thank you for tuning in. And just to let you guys know, this is Basketball Heads Live. We are the official home for New York City basketball. Peace.